Hello everyone and welcome from Seton Hall University's Academic Resource Center. Today we're going to review graphing typically used in pre-calculus, specifically going over how to find x-intercepts, y-intercepts, vertical asymptotes, and horizontal asymptotes. Starting with the x-intercepts, this occurs when y equals 0. In this example, we're going to set the equation equal to 0 and solve for x. Since we have a fraction, the equation equals 0 when the numerator, or the top, equals 0. Since we have multiplication, either x plus 1 or x minus 2 have to equal 0 for the entire thing to equal 0. So we set each side equal to 0 and get x equals negative 1 and x equals 2. Therefore our x-intercepts are x equals negative 1 and x equals 2. For the y-intercepts, this occurs when x equals 0. So all we have to do is plug in 0 for x. In this example, we plug in 0 and we get y equals 1/3. So y-intercept is 1/3. For vertical asymptotes, these are the vertical dotted lines. The graph will get really close to these lines, but not cross it. This occurs when the equation is undefined, which occurs when the bottom of the fraction is 0. So we have to set the denominator, the bottom of the fraction, to 0. This is very similar to finding the x-intercept, but now we're working with the bottom rather than the top of the fraction. Note, if there is no fraction, there is no vertical asymptote. So we set x minus 3 and x plus 2 equal to 0 and get x equals 3 and x equals negative 2. Therefore our vertical asymptotes are 3 and negative 2. For horizontal asymptotes, these are a little tricky, but we got this. When the top numerator is bigger, the horizontal asymptote is 1. When the bottom numerator is bigger, the horizontal asymptote is 0. And when the numerators are the same, the horizontal asymptote is just the constants in front of them. Note, that is not always the first exponent. You choose the one with the biggest exponent. As in this equation, we choose 2x to the third, not 5x to the second, because x to the third is the largest exponent. So our horizontal asymptote is 3/2. Just a quick review, x-intercept you find by setting the equation equal to 0, since it occurs when y equals 0. Y-intercept you find by plugging in x equals 0. The vertical asymptote is when the denominator, or the bottom of the fraction, is 0. And the horizontal asymptote is the special rules based on the exponents. If the top is larger, the horizontal asymptote is 1. If the bottom is larger, the horizontal asymptote is 0. And if they are the same, meaning the biggest exponent on the top and the bottom are the same, you take their constants. Let's go over one last problem together and find the x-intercept, y-intercept, vertical asymptote, and horizontal asymptote. For x-intercept, we set the numerator, or the top of the fraction, to 0, since this occurs when y equals 0. So we get x equals 7 and x equals negative 3. For y-intercept, we plug in 0 because this occurs when x equals 0. We get x equals 3. For vertical asymptote, we set the denominator, or the bottom of the fraction, to 0. We get x equals negative 10 and x equals 7/3. For horizontal asymptote, we need to look at the biggest exponents. Before we do that though, we need to expand them by FOILing. For example, we do the first terms, x times x equals x squared, the outer terms, x times 3 equals 3x, the inner terms, negative 7 times x equals negative 7x, and the last terms, negative 7 times 3 equals negative 21. This combines to x squared minus 4x minus 21. We do the same on the bottom and see the largest exponent on both is x squared. Since the biggest exponent of the top and bottom are the same, we take their constants, or numbers in front of x, to get 1/30. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed, I hope you learned something, and stay tuned for more videos from the Academic Resource Center.